The Thunder go back to Memphis for an elimination game. We'll check in with the team as they hit the road once again. Plus, we'll look back to games 3 and 4 and showcase the great game of Reggie Jackson.
Jackson off the screen from Ibaka. He attacks and he scores on the floater. We're tied.
And we sit down with Sam Presti to get his thoughts on this series.
The group's been together for yet another season, and the cohesion and the complementary nature that the guys have found with one another gives us another level to get to.
All that and much more is coming your way starting right now. The first round of playoffs continues, or round one, as Caron Butler might call it. He said this has been a boxing match and that no one is going to throw a knockout punch, that it's a process. So who will withstand the fight? That is yet to be determined as we welcome you into Thunder Insider. Leslie McCaslin joined by my broadcast team, Brian Davis, Grant Long. As the Thunder head back to Memphis for Game 6, it is an elimination game. We will know by this weekend who will be moving on in the Western Conference to round 2. Guys, as the Thunder head back, they've played there before with their backs against the wall. We know this team is quite capable, but Brian, how difficult is it to stay alive on the road?
Well, you know, one of the things that we continue to talk about, and it is still a process, and it's been going on for a while, and I think we're all kind of very familiar with what's going on right now, but the Thunder has been down to the Grizzlies, who, by the way, I'm having a flashback on the Chicago Bulls before they got over the hump and the way they kept banging their head on the ceiling that was named the Detroit Pistons. That's what's going on here right now. But the Thunder's got to find a way to deal with it. I think there's still a lot of confidence in the locker room that they will. In fact, I'm going to go back to what Serge Ibaka said the other day, Grant. Simply, keep believing, man. He said, people can say on the outside what they want to, but we still believe in ourselves. And in the end, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And I think at the end of the day, you have to understand that as competitive as these teams have played, this is the first time that I can agree and say that there's probably no home court advantage because both teams have won on each other's home floor. There's been very competitive throughout. There's been 4 overtime games in a row. There's no home court advantage. You just have to go out there and play your best game.
Well, and that's been true for this entire NBA playoffs. The home teams have only won about 40% of their home games. That is insane. That just shows how good the Western Conference is this year. Well, in the East for that matter. But as we look at the last couple of games and how these have gone down, 4 straight overtimes for the first time in NBA history. Grant, have you ever seen anything like this?
I don't think I have. And going into this playoff series, not just the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies, but the Western Conference playoff in itself, I thought there was a lot of parity between the teams, that it would be ultra competitive. And it has been that. It's lived up to that billing because there are so many good teams in the Western Conference, and it's going to be very competitive. Guys are going to fight and fight and fight tooth and nail to get to that coveted trophy at the end of the trail.
You know, I think you can break down all the strategy, the tactics. You can talk about the statistics and the way that the Grizzlies, and you got to give them some credit the way that they defended the Thunder. But I want to go back to, I had a broadcast partner in football, Eddie George, who once said, the whole object of this is to break the other guy's will. And right now, these guys are still standing. And it's about the 13th round of this 15-round heavyweight prize fight. But so far, nobody's will has broken. And as long as that's the case, no matter which side you're on, you got a chance.
Game 5, it came down to, again, a last-second shot. Serge Ibaka so close. Kevin Durant misses 1 free throw. All of these things, but really what you can look back at is the Thunder went down by 20 points and clawed their way back in. How important is it going forward, Grant, for them to not put themselves in that kind of hole?
The silver lining is that they were able to fight themselves back into a competitive situation to get ahead in the game. As a matter of fact, they got up by 1 point very late in the game. That was the first time they actually led in the ball game. But the other side of that is, you're right, Leslie, you can't afford to get yourself in that. I remember Collison saying this during the regular season when they had a few games where they were down by double digits and they were able to come back and win. But he then also said that is not a steady diet that they need to be on, getting behind and then making it a practice to try to come back, because you exert quite a bit of energy trying to get back into the game and then stay ahead the rest of the game. And I think you cannot live that way, and the Thunder have to find a way to get off to better starts, and the way that you do that happens to be on the defensive end where they're very familiar.
Yeah, no question. If you look at things that coaches have been talking about, Scott Brooks said over the weekend, we have to do a better job of getting the shots that we want, not the shots that they dictate to us. But I think when you turn it around and you look at the foundation, the cornerstone element of Thunder basketball, it's on the defensive end. And in those 3 losses, all of them overtime games, so what are we talking about, 159 minutes of basketball? The Thunder has led for a total in those 3 games of about 11 minutes. Dave Yeager told me in Memphis over the weekend, the Grizzlies head coach, that when you're playing with the lead that much, it gives you a tactical advantage. Everything you do, substitutions, the plays you call, having the lead makes things much easier if you're the head coach.
I'll just say this right now. I think you're a little bit better at math than I am. All I'll say is I know this. Memphis leads the series 3-2. The Thunder have to get a win to tie it up at 3, but let's hear what they have to say after Game 5.
Never seen anything like it, and it's just great to be a part of it. Unfortunately, we was on the losing end of it tonight, but get an opportunity to bounce back Thursday. So just get ready for the flight and prepare for that challenge.
Well, it's been a crazy one. It's been a battle every game.
Does that, when the games are like this, does that make the margin for error just that much smaller than it normally is?
Of course. I mean, we're playing against an extremely good team, and they got some good players. They know what they're doing out there, and we just gotta every possession count.
4 straight overtimes. I mean, it's good basketball, but we lost 3 of them. That's the worst part. But we focus on this is next game. I mean, I'm sure if you look back on it, you'll see how special it is. But we just worry about the next game and going on the road and trying to get a W. Continue to play together, and not going for the home run, but just playing basketball. Moving it from side to side, and getting their bigs moving, and trusting in one another and believing in one another.
Guys are going to keep fighting. That's what we do. That's what they've always done. A couple of breaks here and there could have changed the game, but I thought the guys had a great job of competing. We got down when we didn't make any shots during that stretch when they jumped up 18 or 20 points on us. But it says a lot about our team. Just keep plugging away and keep fighting and sending it into overtime with our toughness and our defensive effort. But
we won there before. We know what we need to do to win the game. We just got to come out and play our game and come out and impose our will, like Kevin said, come out and do what we need to do to win the game.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
Just continue to go out there with confidence. Each shot or each play is even a new play, and just continue to try to live in the moment.